Dropping on the runway, the oceans overflow. I know for certain one day I'll see you down below. I'll find some solace someday, and you'll reap what you sow. I'll see you bloody Sunday, so you can burn for food. Close your eyes, blinded by the fire in the sky. Misguided by the tribe, sacrifice to the Lord of the flies. No one can save you, no one can save you. The chaos awaits you. I can't see tomorrow, 'cause I'm not tired today. I sing this sorrow with a smile on my face.
And I think that song just about sums it up. Chaos by Hollywood Undead to recap week 6. Wow, what a week. The kiss of death is real. Well, let's start out by saying that. Sorry, Josh. But others, like, Will's undefeated. I give him the choice of song, and he loses. Change my jumping on the bandwagon from Dez to Josh. Dez wins, Josh loses. And I mean, quite a few people actually are teams that I picked to win, lost, and so on. It's just, man, you don't want me on your side. You don't want me to give you any part, apparently, of this video. And you don't want me to pick you to win. If you can avoid all of that, then you'll do just fine in this league. But anyways, let's jump in and let's recap one of the craziest weeks, honestly, that we've had. I think Clint posted it like last night, going into the last game on what could happen. And that's exactly what happened. Everybody lost that was on the top. And for the most part, everyone on the bottom won. We don't have an undefeated team anymore. We don't have any teams. All the teams that were 4-1 are now 4-2. Clint, with that win, moving back up to where he was before he had the loss. And we actually now don't have any teams that are looking for their first win. That has also happened. So all of that happened just this week. So let's dive in. So let's take a look. How did we do on the picks? So the first one was Jay versus John. And if you remember right, I actually said Jay was going to get this. His first win of the year, because John didn't have Kelsey. Well, John, man, what a week. He only scored 78 points. And I'm probably not telling John anything he doesn't know. Cook, not playing. I don't know how late that was announced. I, of course, wasn't paying attention to that going into the game. But it sounds like it was short notice. Olave getting hurt right away, ended up with negative points, and then just kind of all down the board for poor John. So the good news is, John, it's 1 week. Shake it off. You move on. Hopefully things get better then, in next week. But then give credit to Jay. Jay scored 129 points. Most weeks that should be enough to beat. So even if John wouldn't have had all the injuries and say, John scored average, another 50 points or so, Jay still probably would have beat him. So congrats, Jay, on your first win, man. 1-5. Like we said, 8-6 is what you're eyeballing. And so yeah, you're on a win streak. You're well on your way. You just need 7 more wins or so in a row would probably be nice for you. The next one was between Ian and Jake, and I picked Ian on here just because I've just fallen off of Jake's bandwagon a long time ago. Well, Jake, out of the blue, wins and beats Ian. I gave Ian Kittle, quarterback, running back. I really didn't give Jake anything to be able to win. And then Jake had at the end who, didn't really do much because he got hurt. And I know I have him in another league, and I had a trade, and the trade for ETN, and then I don't remember for it. It was a pretty strong wide receiver. And of course I decided to, said no, didn't want to do it. I wanted to hold on to, having running backs. And then, I don't know, coming off of that game, I'm like, yeah, now I probably should have, because he would have regretted it probably. And you don't know. I mean, it's only one game and he's getting banged up. But Anyways, Jake had to overcome that, right? Of another player that we had for the week that had negative points. But then Jake just really, across the board had, for the most part, Dell, Flowers, Goodson. And then his big one was Godwin, who had 35.5 points. Very nice. Wow. 11 receptions, 125 yards, 2 TDs. Yep. In a PPR league, that's amazing. So Ian didn't do bad. I mean, 135 points. That's very respectable. But just wasn't enough to beat old poor Jake this week. So yeah, look at that. Jake gets his first win. He is 1-5, and just like Jay, on a winning streak, and maybe playoff push. Just got to win 7 more. Anyway, so congrats, Jake gets the win. Ian, of course, with the loss, drops to 4-2. Next one was Clint versus Will. On Will's team, based on how good he's looked throughout the year and being undefeated. And I don't know what happened here. I mean, both of these teams can put up some points at times, especially Will's team, who, has put up, 140 points pretty consistently. Well, this week, 105. And just going across the board, I mean, there's just a lot of red. And he dealt with another one, kind of where John dealt with Cook, with Goddard. And it looks like Goddard played, but was ruled out for the remaining of the game without a catch. So, yeah, that sucks. Of having 0 points on there. But if he would have had, if he didn't get hurt, or any other tight end that probably got him 3 points or more, he would have ended up winning. But yeah, Will, kind of crazy, only with 105 points on the week with his superstar team. But hey, it's going to happen. Like Clint said, get the loss out of the way now. So now you're not undefeated. Now you're not worried about that anymore. And now you can just focus on winning every other week. But Clint pulls this little mini upset. I got that one wrong. Will drops, of course, down to 5-1 and moves Clint up to 4-2. But if we're keeping track, so far I'm 1-2 on my pick. So it was an average week for me. The next one, Josh and Dez, and you just got to laugh, right? I talked up Dez. He was on a 3-game losing streak. No, I talked him up at the beginning of the year, 2-game win streak. Got on his bandwagon. He lost 3 in a row. Jumped from his bandwagon over to Josh's and said, I love Josh's team and what he's done. And then, of course, it's, the KOD, kiss of death, that's now killing Josh, and who had a pretty bad week. And if we actually look at his team, it was the injury bug, which typically comes with the KOD apparently in this league. But Mason, who got hurt, Robinson underperformed, Kraft, Ford got hurt. We don't have to look at this a ton, Josh. You know how you did and what happened. So, again, good news is, you dropped to 4-2, still very respectable. Long way to go. But it does move Dez back up to 3-3. So putting him in a much better position of where he was, of course, if he would have got the loss. But I picked that one wrong. So 1-3 so far. But the next 2 I got right. But what I didn't get right, or didn't expect, I didn't expect Will to score 158 points. Where the hell did that come from? Sorry, Jeremy. That sucks. But yeah, I picked Sean to win. And I said, had Walker, strong wide receivers. It was Walker over, let's pick it, over Ayuk. I think Ayuk had a rough, yeah. So that was pretty much why I leaned towards Sean. And then just look at Sean's team. 20, 24, Wilson looking like that number 1 pick. McLaurin, McBride, Tracy, good pickup. Tucker, just wow. So Sean scores 158 points out of the blue, and then we all heard today, of course, Adams going to the Jets, and that will probably actually help Wilson, right? It may free up the double teams and such he gets, so maybe that will make him more consistent. Now, I guess we'll see. So, just kind of note, Sean's now one to watch. He's only 2-4, but he's going in the right direction. He scored a ton of points, and things are aligning in his direction, and he's not dealing with a ton of injuries that some of us are dealing with as of right now. So, good job, Sean. You got another win, 2-3, drops Jeremy to 1-5 as of right now. So, sorry, Sean, 2-4, drops Jeremy to 1-5. And then the last one was myself versus Adam. I said Adam was going to win. I said it was kind of a toss-up, but I was just dealing with too much unknown, and it turned out that way. Actually, it was the Lions game that really destroyed me. I actually kind of had a decent start to the day. I was looking good with Reed, and then even with Harris and Brown, and how all of them were performing. Yeah, Tampa Bay's defense, I was watching that game, and I was like, I might actually pull this off and win. And then it all went to hell from there. Unfortunately, watching the Lions game, which I was glad to watch the Lions game, except for, of course, the injuries and so on that came out of that game. Never want to see that. But the Lions just destroyed Dallas, and Prescott and Ferguson just did absolutely nothing. But it is what it is. I'll take a Lions win any day at the expense of my fantasy football team. So I pretty much called that exactly what I thought it was going to be. It just, the fantasy gods weigh down on you, right? They give you hope at the beginning, and you're like, wow, I'm leading for a while, or I'm projected to win by 10. I might actually pull this off. And then, yeah, in one game, that all changes. So, but anyways, got that right. Finished 3-3. So what did that end up doing, right, to the record? So we know Will got his first loss, but he's still number one. So Will, you sent me that list of songs. I will still go over them. Unless you have a different one, I will probably do that video Saturday morning, Saturday midday or so, like I typically do. So if you're cool with the song list that you gave me, I will go back through the ones that I didn't choose for the last video and then pick one of them and use that as your walk-up, your intro song, or a motivation then for going into week 7. And then it's a cluster after that. 2 through 6 are all teams that are 4-2. And then, so those are those are the teams that are in the playoffs right now. So again, like we've been talking about, you got to be better than 500 to make the playoffs. And 6 games in, that's exactly what it looks like here as well. And then Dez and now Adam both at 3-3. So with Adam getting that win, that puts him 3-3 as well. So they're just really on the outside, kind of looking in. Sean now at 2-4, and then Jake, Jeremy, the Jays are all 1-5. But like we said, you could actually lose one more. And still possibly make the playoffs as long as you get just a lot of wins. So just crazy chaos like we did with picking the song on just how so many teams, all the top teams lost really, except for Clint. But he was, if I remember right, outside looking in to the playoffs, or he was number 6, or he was towards the bottom of the playoff picture. But then, of course, with the upset win over Will, now moved back up to where he was. He's in 4th. Shift everybody really down. Kind of nice then, for myself. Like I got a loss, but I really didn't move at all. I'm in the same position really I was. But just knowing that I can't afford too many more losses because we've got some teams that are starting to turn it around and be headed in the right direction. So, all right. So that's our recap. Congrats again to those teams that did win, a lot of upsets, and still special congratulations out to Will. Well, although he lost last week, he's still number 1. Honestly, it doesn't matter on the record, right? It does ultimately, but all that matters is that big old number 1 right next to your name.
No one can save you. The chaos awaits you. I can't see tomorrow.